Hey, what's up? Welcome to DJ Ned and this week's episode of Crypto Corner Sat Stacker for Saturday, November 29th. Hopefully you had a nice, happy Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice long weekend. And with that being said, let's dive into the charts here. What you can see behind me is kind of like the layout of my thesis, which really started back on Easter, which was on 420. Said made this video happy Easter. Link in the description as well as the pinned comment as long as I remember to do that. I was exchanging with Cantonese Cat on X and was commenting on Easter and then Thanksgiving. So, maybe we're seeing a bottom here. Maybe it's a very nice dip buying opportunity because the thesis is really based on these lines that you see in the background. See a confluence here right around Easter when we hit a low of 1400 for the year based on this red line, and from the tops going back to the all-time high back in 2017 intersecting with the highs from 2021. I was thinking ETH could be hitting around 8,000 by the end of the year. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but we do have a month and crypto is pretty volatile, so you never know. And just above here, you can see a thumbnail for kind of a revised or updated, a revisit to the thesis. Also linked to that one down below. And, kind of just backing up the thesis is, this idea of following the memes and doing the opposite of what they are suggesting. So, when we were bottoming over here, everybody's posting bearish memes, and, it was a great time to buy. And then when we started to get into the more bullish memes, that was actually when we did top out before pulling back. I did not trim then. I should have, but that's fine. My thesis is that Ethereum and Bitcoin, all of them, will be going higher. And so it's just been, a nice opportunity to add more. And, I do have this meme from the beginning of November about buying the effing dip in November. Month's almost over, and maybe we see a Santa Claus rally towards the end of the year. So yeah, I am generally very excited about what we're seeing in the crypto market, but there is one thing that is a little bit concerning, and that is going to be over here looking at the data from Unusual Whales. This is not specifically this contract here, but this is IBIT options data. This here is the $80 strike call that expires in May, about 167 days between now and expiration. There is also this other contract that expires in March, also the $80 strike. Both of these Mike Alfred has talked about. But the thing that really stands out to me is the data over here that's partially behind me. So I'm just going to expand that so we can look at it over here in the bigger window. And so the IBIT is the iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF, which is managed by BlackRock. And what we can see is the net call premium in green coming down by about nearly $23 million, and all of this red volume. It does suggest selling of calls. Selling of calls is kind of bearish, suggesting that a top could be in after a little rally, like the little rally that we've seen. And so I am wondering if Bitcoin and crypto in general will be revisiting the recent lows, maybe double bottoming before we head to new all-time highs. So if we do see a pullback, I want to be ready for it, and I am excited for it. And so that's kind of, the thesis for the week ahead. And then just to put this data into context here, just looking at one day, if we go back the past 30 days, what we can see that net call premium dropping down here, like I said, to nearly 23 million, where the cursor is going across. We haven't seen net call premium coming down that low in the past 30 trading days. So that does suggest to me that this little rally, the yellow here is the stock price, the ETF price, that little rally that we've seen might be topping out, rolling over, offering one last dip buying opportunity before we take off to new all-time highs. So yeah, I did want to just mention that before getting into my nerdy little spreadsheet over here. And so let's just flip over to the spreadsheet for this week. Of course, today is November 29th. That is the tab that I have down here, which you can't see because I think Ed's in the way. But yeah, what happened over the past week? So I did place a couple dip buy orders on Strike for $100 each. They did not get hit. It's possible I missed the bottom as far as a bigger order goes, but it's not a big deal. I'm fine with it. I have been doing $10 daily DCAs or dollar cost averaging with Bitcoin. Fine with that. Am still negative on my Bitcoin, but Ethereum, I am now back in the green. And I actually didn't do any net buying of ETH, or at least not exposing myself to more risk with ETH, because I did do one daily buy of $40 worth of Ethereum at around 2,800. And then I trimmed in $20 increments at 2,900 and 3,000. But I decided not to continue with that. So I, bought $40 worth and then I sold 20 and 20. So it sold $40 worth. So net zero. But my exposure to Ethereum, my position did go up by a little bit since, I took profit there and, did have a little bit of a remainder of ETH. As far as Doge goes, I do have a limit dip buy order placed, but I did not buy any. Also, same with RLC, which is iExec. I do have a $100 dip buy order. Hasn't been filled, and I, to be honest, don't expect it to get filled. Coming down the list here, we see 1428 because if we do make that purchase 7 days a week, that ends up being about $100, and that is for Solana. I did accumulate actually more than $100 this week. I accidentally did a market order. So not my standard recurring orders every day, because usually they fill at around 6 p.m. Eastern, but on maybe Wednesday they didn't. And so I was wondering about that. I was a little bit concerned. So I placed an order. And so I just ended up accumulating a little bit more Solana there. Do not have a dip buy order placed on Coinbase for Fartcoin because it would be having to go a little bit lower for me to even be able to place that order. But that is something that I am considering. That's why it's yellow. And then I think, just behind me, I can't really see it. But if I do scroll down here, I have been doing dollar daily DCAs of Arbitrum. And so that's going great. But I did actually do $8 over the past week because of that accidental additional buy on Wednesday or whenever it was. And then Pengu or Pudgy Penguins, I now have the size of a position that I want. Now I want to grow my Arbitrum position. So I am just going to be continuing to dollar cost average DCA with $1 every day for Arbitrum. I'm going to stop doing that with Pengu just because I don't think I need to really be exposing myself to that much more risk. But yeah, I'm going to go down this list, go over all of the tickers. And try to update my charts. If you notice, I do have a little bit different of a setup. I did get a new monitor camera and I tried to clean up the visuals here. And so, yeah, I might try to clean up stuff on the chart. I also did get a TradingView subscription, paid subscription now. Oh, and on that note, I should note all the exchanges here, links in the description down below. If you use my link, I think we both get a little bit of something, but no big deal if you don't. And also Trezor hardware wallets. I'm using the Model 1 as well as the the Safe 3, Trezor Safe 3. And they do have a sale where you can get some of their wallets for about 40% off for Black Friday. I believe it's still going on, so make sure you head over there if you do want to get a hardware wallet. I don't get anything for it. I just think it's good to be storing coins off exchange, so I just want to be encouraging good behavior. But yeah, with that being said, what we can see is for Bitcoin, the Friday close was around 91,000, but I do think it's pulling back right now, so we'll have to look at the chart in a minute. But like I said, I do think that we are potentially going to be seeing a dip, a nice pullback. And so with that being said, let's just go over here real quick to my weekly information over here. And so for Bitcoin, I should actually update this number to, let's see, the 29th, because it's the 29th. And for this, we can see Bitcoin, I was hoping it would come down to like 83. It looks like I have some buy orders placed at 81,000 and 84,000. If in case it did not come down to 83, those are white because they're placed, but they did not get filled. And we did see it get up to resistance around 93,000, but I think it topped out around there. And so I didn't trim there, but it did go up to there. And yep, and then these other levels that I think could be acting as resistance. And so since I have 83,000 here, I mean, I do still think that could be support. And yeah, so I mean, to be honest, I'm just going to leave that there. But what I am going to do is add another, here, I'll do it like this so I don't have to change to white. 88K. Do I think we're going down to 88K? Maybe. I have no idea. Let's see if it goes off to the side there, but that's okay. Maybe I can just go like that. And yeah, we can see off still there. Okay, yeah, so I think I'm going to place another dip buy, but at 88K. That's a level that Scott Milkers talked about a lot. And so, yeah, I mean, I would like to place an order there. So I made the big deal about keeping that text white, but I'm actually going to change it to yellow. So I know that, I need to place an order there for $88,000 Bitcoin. But yeah, let's just flip over to the chart real quick. And so we can look at where it's going. It looks like it's around 90,600. This is looking at the weekly. And one thing I did want to point out, I do have this line here, the confirming close. This is on the linear. I should also point that out as well. But the confirming close here, that was based on the low from a couple weeks ago. And the low was 92,943, somewhere around there. And I was hoping that last week we would close above that level. So we would not be confirming the breakdown below this blue line here, which is the 50-week simple moving average. A lot of people have talked about that. It's apparently a pretty important level. We can see that we have, bounced from it in the past. I was hoping we'd bounce from it here, but we have broken down. However, I mentioned Cantonese Cat before. He was talking about this purple line here, which is the 100-week moving average, and that is right around $83,000, $84,000. We did wick below it last week, hitting a low of, or I should say, not this past week, but the week before, hitting a low of $80,500, somewhere around there. We are bouncing a little bit, but it looks like, we haven't really gotten up to, close above that confirming close that we need, which is at $92,943.83, or let's just round up to $93,000. So it would be great to see Bitcoin close above that this week. But if we don't, which I kind of suspect we won't, I think that we could be rolling over a little bit. But yeah, let's just think about this on the log scale. Do I want to look at anything over there? I mean, we got this white line. What does that correspond with? I don't know how serious we need to consider that level. Doesn't really seem too serious, but I mean, that is, if we do go a little bit lower, maybe we find support around 75,000, could be corresponding with that line. But if we do switch over to the log scale, nowhere to be found. And the next level looks like it's that 200-week simple moving average. All of these are weekly moving averages. That 200-week moving average, the red line there, looks like it's around $55,000 to $56,000. So if we do continue down, maybe we find support there, and maybe that's a great dip buying opportunity. But yeah, let's just think about this and switch over to the daily chart. And I'll just fast forward to current time so we can look at this. And and actually those moving averages. So this light blue line, that corresponds with the 20-day simple moving average. And we did get rejected from it so far. And, that also corresponds with that confirming close that we need to see. So I would not be too surprised if this does pull back into the 80s. And so if that does happen, I will be happy to add more to my Bitcoin position a little bit more aggressively. But if it doesn't happen, that's fine too. I'm happy if number goes up. I'm happy if number goes down. Based on, these three levels here, I would like to be adding to those. And I do think that we could still be finding support at 83,000. I'm going to leave that red because I don't necessarily, or I don't plan to buy at that level. Why do I think 83,000? I mean, that kind of corresponds with that green line there. If we do go back, kind of, double tops here in 2021, pivot point over here, high from March of 2024. And then kind of retested that as support over here. And we did bounce from it when we did dip down on the 21st. So I think that's pretty feasible that if it does come down to 83, that could be holding as support. So I would be fine with that. Resistance, are we still below 93,000? We are still below it. So I'm going to leave that. And I guess I'm going to have to make it red because I don't plan on trimming or anything at 93,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this orange so I know that I do need to place an order. I also, in all honesty, probably need to adjust my alerts, or I just need to be paying attention to those. So I will be doing that. But yeah, that is pretty much it for Bitcoin. And if we do go over here, since that is it for Bitcoin, I do need to adjust some things here. So I'm just going to make all these numbers white. I do have the $10 daily DCAs placed with Strike. No problem there, but I do want to change this to a $300 dip buy at those three different levels. And so I need to make that yellow so I remember to place that third additional dip buy order at 88,000. So got that there. And now we can continue on to the next one on the list, which is Ethereum, ticker symbol ETH. And it looks like the Friday's close was around 3,000. And that does put me up about 7% with my average being right around 2,800. If we dip below 2,800, I would dip buy. If we don't, then, I'm happy. This is my number 2 position. And I don't think I really need to get too much more exposure to it while basically Solana's down here. I want Solana to be past Doge. So I'm going to be a little more aggressive with Solana moving forward and less so with ETH and Doge. But anyways, coming over here to Ethereum, like I had mentioned, I had, bought $40 worth and then I sold $20 worth, adding a little bit, a very small amount to my ETH position, but overall pretty negligible. And so thinking about that, I believe I have a dip buy order at 2,800 for $240. But since 7 times $40 daily DCAs equals $280, I kind of want to adjust that to be $280 dip buy. And then that would also be, if it's at 2,800, makes it kind of a whole round number there. So I'm going to do that. I haven't placed it yet, so I need to because it's at 2,400 or 2410, 240. So I need to adjust that to 280. But then if we do go over to the orders over here for Ethereum, let's see, support, we did not get to support. I would consider buying more if we did go down there. And we did hit resistance at 3,000. We did hit these two levels here. I added at 2,800. I trimmed at 2,900 and I trimmed at 3,000. And so with that being said, I need to do that, make that yellow. I do need to place that order. And as far as 2,900 goes, I'm not really too concerned about that one. So I'm actually just going to delete it. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. I think that's a saying. And so, yeah, support, let's kind of evaluate that looking over at the ETH chart here. And we did see the low over here on the 21st being at a price of 2,620. And so, yeah, I mean, I could see that acting as support again, but I could also see it finding support around this 618, which is based on this Fibonacci retracement. If I do adjust that to the log scale, let's see how that looks. It looks like we pulled back to the 50% rather than the 618, bounced very nicely from it. So, yeah, I mean, I think that there could be some more downside, and I think that would be fine. Also, just like with Bitcoin, getting rejected from this 20-day simple moving average, that light blue line there. So, yeah, I mean, I do think that we could be seeing a little bit of a pullback. And yeah, so let's see, 3,000, where is it at? Current price is around 3,000. I think that's going to be resistance. So coming back over here, I can still leave that at 3,000. I'm just going to change it to red because I don't plan on placing an order there. I am not sure if I need to adjust my alerts or anything, so I'm going to do that so I know. But 26, yeah, I might start to, and actually, I should note this. What do I mean by may place additional orders if alert goes off? And so, let's say it goes down to 2,800. I would then buy whatever that is, like 1% of an Ethereum, something like that. Or is that 10%? I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. I think, yeah, I don't, like 2,800 if I'm spending, I'd be getting 10% of an Ethereum. And so that would be great. But then if it continues to go lower, below 2,800, I would probably then start to resume $40 daily DCAs for Ethereum while it's down. And yeah, and that's totally fine. I'm not worried about it. And so, yeah, that's kind of the outline for Ethereum. And so there's that. I'm just going to leave it at the 2,800, and maybe I will do, maybe I should denote this like, 40 daily DCAs. And so I'll do it like that. Maybe I place daily $40 DCAs. But yeah, I don't want to be buying more when price is above my average because I did that too much. I'll show you the graph in the end, my P&L. I could have managed risk a little bit better and taken some profits, trimmed a little, but I didn't. Anyways, the next one on the list is going to be Dogecoin, ticker symbol DOGE. Looks like I'm down about 17% in that position. I do have a limit sell order just for $100 worth. And my average is at about 18 cents, whereas current price is around 15. Let's go over to the list here and just think about some of these levels. So resistance, I'd trim at 19 cents because, just to manage that risk. So let's come over here. Hopefully you guys can't hear my computer since I did get this kind of different setup. It seems to be putting out more effort. But yeah, with Doge over here, we can see that the low on the 21st was around 13.29. And yeah, but I'm just chilling. Got that 20-day simple moving average acting as resistance. And let's see, what was the high? 1570 about. The high on November 26th was 1568. And yeah, that 20-day simple moving average has definitely been acting as resistance. If we do go higher, we've got the, 50-day simple moving average. That is at 1758. And then we do have a confluence of the 100 and 200-day simple moving averages right around 20 to 21 cents. And yeah, so before we even get up there, 19 cents, I'm thinking it could be resistance. And that's probably just going to be based on, this parallel channel. If I do without trying to screw it up at all. Actually, that could probably be a little bit higher. So maybe resistance would be around 20 cents. But I, would rather kind of front run selling that just to manage that risk. I don't need more exposure to Doge, especially while my Solana position is smaller. So let's say we didn't test the support here that I have at 10 cents, which would, I guess, be corresponding with the lows on October 10th. The lows 9.64 cents, so right around 10 cents. So yeah, I would get very interested if it did dip down to there again. But yeah, I mean, I can just more or less leave Doge alone. I don't need to change anything, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave that alone with that limit trim already placed on Robinhood. And yeah, so the next one on the list is going to be RLC or iExec. I'm down about 50% on my position, and it's a much bigger one than should be for how risky this kind of small market cap are, especially these two right here, RLC and LRC. Kind of a coincidence. It's not that I'm dyslexic; it's that just a coincidence. And let's see, purchasing both of those with Coinbase. And I do have a limit buy order for RLC. Let's just see what level that's at. Looks like 56 cents. I feel like we've had to come close to that level kind of recently, maybe. Let's see. Nope, we haven't. The reason why I picked 56 cents is because it's this yellow line here. The lows back on June 19th. The low was, let's see, 58 cents. The low the day before on the 17th, 61, it doesn't matter. 56 on the 18th of June, 2022. So yeah, I mean, if we do go down to there, then I would add more, but otherwise I've got limit sell orders placed, and I'm just not going to worry about it at all. And so those limit sell orders, not at $1, and the reason for that is because my average is 142, so I want to wait to be in profit before I start trimming, and so that would then be at around 180, 86, 90, and 94, incrementally trimming out of the majority of my position, leaving $100 on the table as a moon bag, effectively. But yeah, I just need to get the risk down because maybe we enter a bear market and that goes to zero, or maybe we're about to go into a super cycle and that really outperforms. I need to manage my risk. That is something that's important. I have not been doing that. The next one on the list, then Loopring, ticker symbol LRC. I'm down about 36% in that position. And, my average is about 5.4 cents. Or sorry, the close on Friday was 5.4 cents, and my average is about 8.4 cents. So it's a little disappointing. Don't have any buy orders placed. Where do I see support being for that? 5.2 cents, and I do believe I actually did dip by that a couple weeks ago. And so I'm not going to buy it again. Just don't need to be spread myself so thin. Don't want to be doing that. But yeah, we can look at the chart here real quick. Yep, so 52 cents. I had that yellow line there. That's kind of why I bought. We did pierce it. And if we do, start to really fall down below 52 cents, or sorry, 5.2 cents, then maybe I consider placing an order down here following that trend line, but also maybe not. Maybe I just don't want to expose myself to more and more risk. And so I don't think I would do that. Yeah, and then the next one, this one's getting a little bit more exciting again. This is Solana, ticker symbol SOL. This is one where I want it to be above Doge on the list, so I'm trying to be a little bit more aggressive in my buys. Did close on Friday at around 136. My average is around 174.5. Down about 21% on my position. And I've been doing $14.28 daily DCAs because that ends up being right around $100 a week. But I was thinking that I should increase that. And I've been debating increasing that to $20 a week or $30 a week. And maybe we should look at the chart, and I will think about that. But let's first go over here to look at this. Support 120, 216 resistance. And yeah, I mean, nothing really too exciting over here for that one. Oh, and I guess I should have mentioned for LRC, do plan on trimming out at 9.3, 10, 11, and 12 cents. Because, sorry to go back and forth, my average is 8.5 cents. So got to be taking care of some of that risk. managing it. But yeah, Solana 120. Let's see what was the low for the week. Look at that, rejected from the 20-day simple moving average. So that seems pretty common. The low so far for today, 134.86, it looks like. But yeah, I mean, I think that we could be coming down to like, let's see, what was the low here on the 21st? That was 121.47. Maybe we sweep those lows. So yeah, I'm going to leave 120 there. I am going to need to adjust my order. And with that being said, let's just look at the, this is not what I wanted to look at. This, yeah, I mean, if this is coming down, I think what I probably want to do, I mean, look at this. If I was buying up here, I want to be a little bit more aggressive down here. And I want to overthrow all of these, get above Doge. So what I think I'm doing, and also because I've been doing it like $100 every week, so it's like my position size is divisible by $100. Now it's not. And so because it's not, I think I want to do $30 daily DCAs. There are a couple of reasons for that. One is it's approximately double what I have been doing, and I probably would not do this long term, maybe just for a couple of weeks. But yeah, $30 daily daily DCA. I'm going to make that yellow, so I know I need to place that. I need to adjust the orders that I currently have. And so, I was doing 40 daily DCAs for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm not anymore. I'm just doing $10 DCAs for Bitcoin. It might do that with Ethereum if it drops. But since I'm not, as of right now, $10 plus $30, that's a $40 daily DCA. So I'm effectively cutting in half what I was DCAing. And, I think that's a good compromise, at least for this week. And maybe I revise that to 20 next week, or maybe I just maintain it at 30 until Solana overtakes Doge. So I like that. But yeah, let's go on to the next one on the list, which is going to be Ondo. I don't have any orders placed on this one. Closed on Friday at about 51.5 cents. My average is around 89 cents, down about 42%. And looking over here, 40 cents is what I was thinking would be acting as support. And we do see what was the low over here on the 21st. That was 44.331 cents. 40 cents, that, yeah, I mean, if we do break lower, then yeah, that could be acting as support. So yeah, I mean, I'm probably just going to leave that alone. 92 cents up here, maybe corresponding with that, let's see, 100-day simple moving average. That's around, nope, actually that's about 80 cents. The red, which is the 200-day simple moving average, that's around 85. So that'd be getting up to, around here. So I'm just going to leave it because I don't really care too much. I'm not actively trading it, but just to note, 20-day simple moving average resistance. Need to be breaking above that. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it alone. Otherwise, my head's going to spin. And because people don't really watch these, I really just do this for myself. And for those who are interested, thank you for being here. But for the majority of people who don't watch these, I'm just going to skip over a lot of this stuff. Fartcoin, I do have that dip buy that I want to place, but I can't. It's too big of a drop. But yeah, it did close at about 34 cents on Friday. My average is around 46 cents. And so my strategy with Fartcoin is I'd want to dip buy at 0.69 cents. And the reason for that is if we do look over here, we do have the low from October 10th. The low is about 3 cents. And so I don't necessarily think I could buy the exact bottom, but got to have fun with the numbers. So like a 6.9 cents. And that's, pretty close to the bottom here. So that's my strategy with that. And then where I'd want to sell, I'd trim the majority of my position. I already have the order placed at around 69 cents. I was thinking that was a good level to be adding in or adding at that level because of stupidity, having fun, stuff like that. And now that I liked that number before as support and we've gone lower than it, then, I think that I should trim the majority of my position there. Still holding like a $100 moon bag if it goes higher, or, then I can just buy back on a weekly basis if it does go back below my average. So yeah, that's kind of the strategy there. Trim out at 69, and then I'd hold the moon bag until it goes up to about $4.20 just because of stupidity, having fun, got to. The next one, Ethereum Classic. I wish I had dumped this, a while ago, but I didn't. I trimmed. I could have trimmed more aggressively. Friday close was 1381. Oh, and actually, maybe before I go over that, Farcoin, has performed pretty nicely and actually did break above that 20-day simple moving average. So that's nice and is actually, technically it's below the 50-day simple moving average, that blue line there. But, maybe it's a bull flag consolidation before going higher. So that is kind of a nice look. But anyways, Ethereum Classic, ticker symbol ETC. This one, yeah, I just kind of wanted to look at it real quick. Nothing too crazy. Wow, this is not performing that well. Very, very much below that 20-day simple moving average. 1269 level that I have there. The low on November 21st was 1255. And so just looking at it over here, $12. Yeah, I mean, if it broke below that, yeah, maybe I'd consider buying over there. And these asterisks, I can delete them because it just overcomplicates this. Prior additional, yeah, it doesn't matter. Who cares? And yeah, 12 and 18. So let's just look at 18. Where's 18? That would be around the 100-day simple moving average. The purple line here, right around 18. So that does make sense as resistance. But where would I be trimming out of my position for this? I guess, what's my average? Ethereum Classic 2148. So I think my average was previously like 2160 or 2161. So that's why I have that there. But yeah, I mean, I'd trim at all these levels, and I think I already have those orders placed, so I don't have to worry about anything. Would then just be holding like a $100 moon bag for fun. And then, yeah, the next one on the list is going to be Cardano. I am, in all honesty, probably going to skip through these, although I'm going to go over Chainlink because I'm not sure if it was Ricardo who requested it during a stream. But yeah, Chainlink was mentioned, so I'll go over Chainlink. And with that one, you can see, and the reason why I want to skip over these, I'm not doing anything with them. No plans, all NAs, nothing too exciting. But yeah, with Chainlink, closed on Friday at 1313. Maybe that's good luck because it's a repeating number. But my average is 2095, it looks like. I thought my average was a little bit higher. Maybe I'm thinking about something else. I thought it was a little bit lower. I'm thinking about something else. But yeah, 2095 down 37% on that. What are some of the levels that I'm thinking about? Ooh, actually, I'm going to have to come back to Avalanche because this is yellow. I need to address that. But yeah, $10 potential support for Link. And so yeah, just kind of curious what's going on over here. $10. Let's look at the chart now to look at Link. And so the low on the 21st of November was 1159.6. And we see the October 10th drop, the low there was 15. So yeah, I mean, it's really bled down quite a bit. Could potentially be at support around 1184 where it did bounce. But again, getting rejected by that 20-day simple moving average. And what we can see, though, that level of support around 1184, that was the low on March 11th of 2025, low of 1184.2, got kind of a 420 in there. So maybe that's a good luck charm. But if it does go lower, I'd think that an excellent dip buying level would be around $10. We do see the low over here on April 7th was $10.10. So maybe we sweep the lows at 10. Great dip buying opportunity in my view, if we are to be getting into a super cycle or a bull market into the new year or for a Santa Claus rally and stuff. But yeah, as of right now, I think that, I'm just going to be waiting. And if 10 does go off, maybe I would consider placing an additional order if that alert goes off. 20 as resistance. It's kind of getting up to here. And that's, we got the, is that 100-day simple moving average? That's around 1938. So right around there is where we could be seeing some resistance getting through those moving averages. But yeah, I also wanted to talk about, because I need to place this order, that is Avalanche. And why did I pick 28? I did have an order to trim at 54, but for whatever reason, I canceled that. And, or maybe it's just been like 3 months, so it canceled automatically. But yeah, what is my average for Avalanche? Excuse me. It's 25.49. So I could feasibly trim at 28, just to take a little bit off the table. And sorry if you can hear the noises from inside my body. I ate breakfast a little bit, had some coffee, and yeah, I'm sure you guys don't care about that though. So yeah, let's talk about Avalanche. How much would I want to trim? I don't think it really matters. It'd just be a small amount. But yeah, so I need to think about that. Maybe it would be like, so these, I think I've got a good amount of that position. So it could potentially be like $100 trim. So let's see. Yeah, 28. I want to look at the chart. That's why I'm going back and forth. Avalanche, the chart. So 28. That's going to be tough to get up there. But we do see this is the 50-day simple moving average. That's around 2290. Getting up to 28, that would be right around where the cursor is here. So yeah, if it does go up that high, maybe it'd go up that high, get rejected, pull back, find these moving averages as support, and then continue higher. So I do need to place that limit trim order, and I might adjust this, but I'm thinking that should be for $100. And so I'm just going to make this a negative $100 there. So I know that I need to place that. If I don't have it on this screen, if I have it on the other tab, I might forget it, as I did last week. But yeah, these other ones, not buying them. So I will just talk about Arbitrum and Pengu, because I have been doing, the dollar DCAs and whatnot with them. And so with Arbitrum, it did close around 21.68 on Friday. My average is around 39 cents, down about 44%. And so let's see over here. I don't think you can see them behind Ed. So I'll just scroll up a little bit, or scroll down. And so Arbitrum, 20 cents. I was thinking that could be acting as support. Let's continue down here to see Arbitrum. And what do we have? It is trading around 21.44 cents. The low over here on November 21st was around 18.56. We do have some like consolidation lows here, just going across the bottoms there, around 20 cents. So yeah, I could see 20 cents acting as support. We do have that 20-day simple moving average acting as resistance. And so, yeah, I think 20 cents seems great. If it does go down there, I would consider adding, and that is going to be based on my dollar daily DCAs and a dip buy. So maybe, where do I want to do that dip buy? I don't need to be super aggressive with Arbitrum. We do see it at 21, but 20 cents. I think 20 cents is a fine dip buy level for that. So I would have that there. And let's also consider the resistance, 44 cents. What does that correspond with? We do have the moving averages up here, right around 38 cents. 44 is going to be right around here where the cursor is a little bit lower, right around there. yeah, corresponding with the consolidation over here, I could see that acting as resistance. But yeah, with it going down, I would want to add more to my position. So I'm going to do something like this. Just copy this so I have the right format. Going to do dollar daily DCAs, but then I'll do a $7 dip buy at $20. Just going to make that yellow so I know, actually, I don't need to make that yellow because it is placed. But yeah, so I know I need to place that $7 dip buy. And that's kind of it for Arbitrum, I believe. Yep, that should be it. And then now, let's go over Pudgy Penguin. So this, I did accumulate to the position size that I wanted. Once Arbitrum overtakes Pepe and Trump, then I would probably start to $1 daily DCA with Pengu to get Pengu above those two, because I have more confidence in the brand that is Pengu over like the memeification, the meme ability, or whatever, the meme culture of Pepe and Trump. I mean, this is really like, meme culture. This is really like the culture and the community that supports and believes in Trump. I believe in both of those things, but I really do believe in the Pengu brand. I see memes, GIFs of that in the teams at work. I know that it's very popular in Asia. And I feel like it's, how to launch a brand. I think Pengu is a great example of how to launch a brand, just like how the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon show was launched to sell toys. Pengu's kind of done something similar in, like launching a brand with, different avenues, toys, NFTs, culture, so yeah. But with that being said, I don't need to be doing any more DCAs, at least for the time being. But let's, also consider what's going on with Pengu. So it's closed around 1 cent on Friday. My average is around double that, down about 50%. And let's just consider, support level. So this level did get filled. Oh, and I need to, yeah, because let's see, I need to delete all these astrices, astri, whatever you'd say. And okay, yeah, we can delete this one as well. And this can just be 1 cent. But do I want to change that? What was the bottom for Pengu? We see the low here on November 21st was 9.99 cents, so right around 1 cent. So yeah, I mean, I think that's fine to have. Currently trading around 1.08 cents. Consolidation lows here around 1 cent. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's fine. Not going to place an order. And actually, I mean, if it does go a little bit lower, maybe I'd say, if it goes like that, that's the same thing, it rounds. So I did type up here that. So maybe I'd consider buying there, but to be honest, probably not, because I can't be doing too many buys or anything like that. But I will, not order, alert. I will place that there. And yep, 3 cents. I think that could be a new level of resistance. And where do we see 3 cents? Up here, we got that's the 100-day simple moving average. It's around 24 cents. Sorry, 2.4 cents. 3 cents would probably be getting up to around here where the cursor is. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for what I'm doing over here. Got all of that updated. So I'm just going to scroll up here. And then we can look at my P&L. I did not line this up just right, so I might have to do this a little bit just so I'm, there we go, just in case. Everything was negative last week. We saw Ethereum here at negative 2% last week. Now Ethereum is at up 7%. I should have been trimming here. This is exactly when we saw those bullish memes. At the end of August, I was up 99% on my Ethereum. If I would have started to trim here on the way down, whatever it is, I could have then started to add more aggressively down here. But I'm not doing that. No big deal. That's fine. But yeah, just coming back to the thesis over here, I think that, we're going to be seeing potentially some fireworks by the end of the year. I'm excited about that. I hope you guys are too. But, as always, but, as always, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys next week. See you later. Enjoy your weekends. Bye, guys.